Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to make a basket of fruit cake, an open basket. If you haven't subscribed, please do that immediately so you don't miss any of my videos. We're starting off with a layered cake already, and I'm just going to mark the cross sign on top of it so as to know where to cut from. And I want an exact equal line. I want an exact equal line. This would enable me know where to cut the heart shape from. So from one end to the other, I'm just going to target it and cut it off. Then I'm going to do it to the second part of the cross sign. You have to be careful while doing this because you don't want to have one side bigger than the other side. Now I'm just going to move it to the top part so as to give it that love heart shape. To secure this, I'm just going to add more frosting to enable it to stick to the bigger part of the cake. If you find this very difficult to attach, you need to add more frosting to enable it hold. The frosting is going to serve as a glue for the cake at the top to attach to the bigger part of the cake. There's nothing wrong if this keeps going off. Just keep pushing it and it would stick to the cake. And if you find it pulling out easily, you add more frosting. At this point, I'm going to cut a little part of the cake to give it a perfect heart shape, because it will just look like a circle if you don't cut that extra part off. If you are enjoying this video, please click the subscribe button below and also click the notification icon beside it. Now this is what the cake would look like from the top, like a perfect heart shape. Now I would have to crumb coat the cake. So I'm just going to apply a thin layer of whipped cream and just frost it all around and all through. You don't need any special technique to do this. It's very easy to crumb coat. And if your frosting isn't enough, you can add more to it to give it that look you're gunning for. After crumb coating, then we can now start the process of frosting. I'm just going to skip the frosting part because you don't really need that. And this is just me coloring a bowl of whipped cream with yellow and just covering it like what I did for the crumb coat, but this is a part layer. Now before piping, you have to practice a little bit on a cling film paper. For this technique, you should go from the top to the bottom part. That's the only way your lines will be straight, because if you go from bottom to the top, you find out that the line wouldn't be straight and it will be too long and overlapping. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but when you try it out, you would understand what I'm actually trying to say. After covering the down part, then I would move to the upper part to actually give it that baskety look. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know if there's anything like baskety. And by the way, if you wonder why my accent is like this, I'm Nigerian, and just ignore my accent and just focus on the lecture or on the tutorial. So at the top, the reason why I had to coat the second layer with yellow is because if there's any part my piping process does not cover, it wouldn't be noticed because it's already yellow behind. or as against when I just chrome coated it with white. If there's any opening or any place the piping doesn't cover, it would show. So this is something you have to take note of while piping or doing this kind of technique. You would see more, you would understand what I'm trying to say when I apply the chocolate on top of the cake. So to give it that beautiful looking realistic look, I'm going to pipe the borders to make it look more like a cake. Although basket has borders, but not this kind of border. This is a cake. The frosting in this piping bag is currently American buttercream, but the frosting on there is actually whipped cream, because the customer actually loves whipped cream. But this technique actually works well with American buttercream. It does work well with whipped cream, but the technicality is just too much, and it could just fall off or smudge before it gets to the customer or before it gets to the destination of the cake. So since the customer wants whipped cream, the cake was covered with whipped cream first before using the American buttercream to actually get the technique I'm actually looking for. And now I'm going to just slice in the fruits and just arrange them so that the colors can pop. Because this is locked down, I couldn't find strawberry. If not, this cake would have been so beautiful. The strawberry would have made a very big difference, but well, the red apple is doing the work. So just layer them in a way that they would look beautiful when the final result comes out. Now I'm just going to melt chocolate and just to get to know the measurement of how I'm going to pipe this. I'm just going to go to where the middle of the cake and measure from there to the end part, so as to know how to the length and the breadth. So I'm just going to use frosting to mark it on my parchment paper, then pipe on it. While piping the chocolate, I'm going to make like hooks. This hook would enter into the cake to secure it properly so it doesn't move. Now I would start piping on the chocolate. By the way, my weather here is very, very, very hot. I had to pop this chocolate into the freezer for it to cool down and solidify. I don't know your weather out there, but my weather here is very hot, 34 degrees Celsius, so very, very hot. It will take long for this chocolate to actually take its form, so I have to pop this in the freezer. Now I'm piping on it, and it's actually turning out very nice. So remember when I spoke about avoiding the down part from showing? As you can see, a little space would show, so I have to always cover it up if need be. So while piping, I'm going to ensure that I don't leave any space open so as to make the basket look beautiful. The first time would be very difficult when trying this technique for the first time, but trust me, when you get a hang of it, it's quite easy and your speed increases. So I would need you to try out this technique and tell me your experience. But know for sure that whipped cream wouldn't work for this kind of technique. I would advise you go with American buttercream or Swiss meringue buttercream. And with Swiss meringue buttercream, you have to always pop it into the chiller or the fridge. So after covering the basket lid or cover, then I'm just going to decorate the top with red apple and some kiwi, and put a rose flower at the down part. This is the end result of the cake. The cake looks so beautiful, and I really love the result, and the owner of the cake really loved it, as in she really loved it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye for now.